This is Mike from Ancine, and you're listening to The Dan Chan Show.
I'm joined by Mike from Ancine, who is the master at his style of this goth, grunge, country death blues. How you doing today, man?
Doing well. How are you doing?
Good, man. Thank you. Whereabouts are you? You in Boston, I believe.
Yeah, I'm in Boston.
Now, as
Boston.
an English guy, we're obsessed with weather. What's the weather doing these days up there?
It's freezing. It just snowed recently. I just came back out from outside. It is bitter cold.
Is it?
Yeah.
And what is it as cold as the way the world's looking at this political environment that's going on at the moment?
Yeah, I'd say it's about equal to that. That makes sense.
It's mad, man. Is there a different vibe to the States at the moment?
Uh, a lot of I don't really get out much, but according to everyone else, a lot of people are on edge.
Mm,
Um, I'm very much unfazed and unbothered,
yeah,
just in my little world. But
yeah.
yeah, there's a lot of people who aren't too happy right now.
Yeah, I'm sure. I guess the rest of the world are a bit looking on a bit nervous as well, mate. But anyway,
Yeah,
let's
as I
let's
say, you guys must just be
we're not here to
just
talk politics and anything like that, but we'll get on to some music. Now, when I first heard your music, I was instantly hooked, right? Because I've got this vibe for like Amigo the Devil, Me and That Man, and those kind of bands, that Southern Gothic vibe, which I really like. So when I heard you guys, well, you, should I say, it was an instant attraction. Tell me about what got you to start producing such sinister music, what took you down this kind of left-hand path, because you are obviously, you can tell there's metal involved in the lyrics and that style, but obviously it's not. So tell me about how you got to where you are now.
well, I come from the metal scene. I was in death metal bands, nothing anything big, just local gigs and stuff. And then obviously, as you get older, your music kind of broadens. I grew up in a musical household. My dad was very much into like old blues and country and things like that. So I always had it around growing up.
Hmm.
And as I got older, I started to go back and listen to that. And I'm like, this stuff is just as depressing and full of despair as like metal is.
Yeah,
So it just seems like an even parallel to me.
yeah, sure. And obviously, for those that don't know your music, you've done some covers as well, metal covers.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah. I did
obviously,
Dark
two that
Thrones.
obviously like Transylvania Hunger and Satan is Real. I mean,
Mhm.
unless you've got a keen ear, you wouldn't recognize them because of your
No,
style.
no,
So
they're
how
very
did you how
bastardized
did you
versions.
how did you deconstruct them to a point?
Um, I'm not a very good musician. That's how.
Simple as that.
This is what I could do. No, it's. I play in open tunings a lot, so I'm like, how can I convert this song to like this weird tuning that I use, and it comes up with this really weird dissonant, bastardization of it.
Hmm.
And since I recorded like just in my apartment, so I have just I can spend as much time on it as possible. I'm constantly just adding layers and just adding and adding and adding. So it
Yeah,
makes it very interesting and
it
different.
does. It does indeed. And this is just you on your own as well, right?
Yeah, correct. This next album, I have a few friends of mine do a couple things, but it's mostly just me.
Do you miss that whole band setup? Or is it more like, you can be on your own, you can be more free, no one's breathing down your neck or anything like that?
Yeah, I mostly like being alone now.
Right.
uh, I don't play well with others, but I do miss being on the road, and I do miss being on stage.
Hmm.
Something I can't do by myself. I think it'd just be very boring.
Yeah.
So it's give and take to it.
Yeah. I mean, bands like, you're familiar with Amigo the Devil, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I've had Danny on the show before. And yeah, when I first had him on the show a few years ago, I was like, do you think you'll ever have a band behind you? He's like, I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure. And then he's now doing tours with bands. He's got his band
Yeah.
behind him. So you never say never, but we'll get into that later
No,
on.
no.
So, last year you released your first EP, I believe it was Death Hymns, Book of Desolation, and soon you're releasing Death Hymns 2, Book of Tribulation. Now, tell me about these two releases, and which are obviously related. Can you explain more about maybe the evolution of this story or this concept or what it's about?
Yeah. Yeah, they are related, obviously. It's a not a pessimistic view on Catholicism, Christian religion,
Yeah.
which also, in my opinion, is also very metal because the Old Testament is extremely
Oh, it's
brutal.
extremely metal. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's all things that do make sense to me. So I just take that aesthetic, the themes from the Bible, and I just really just do it the fire and brimstone part of it,
Nice.
which I think is very dark. So yeah, the first one is desolation. It's just about complete emptiness, loneliness, nothingness, and then tribulations. Now we're on to just hard times.
Yeah. So when is that out?
It's actually up this week, so I don't know when this radio's.
This is going to be out this week. It's perfect timing.
Yeah, it'll be out on Friday, the 21st.
Amazing. Perfect timing. This is when it's all air in the UK. Now, where you draw your influences from? Obviously, you said the New Testament and that, sorry, but the Old Testament, sorry. But what about like it's like the Lovecraft stuff and the stuff that you've mentioned before, and your surroundings and current issues in the world. Where else do you get your influences from?
Yeah, no, you nailed it. I come from New England, which has the greatest horror writers in history from this area. Most of them, we have Lovecraft, Stephen King, who I actually don't like, but everyone
Right.
else likes Stephen King.
He's still from there. Yeah,
He's still from there, yeah. Edgar Allan Poe was actually born in Boston, moved, but I still take credit. We still take credit for him.
for sure.
So there's something in the area around here. We have Salem, we have the witch trials.
Mm.
Um,
You got the Satanic Temple down the road as well, not
yeah, we do. Yeah, the Satanic Temple's headquarters is
Great.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we have a lot of people think of like dark Americana as the South. You have the bayous and the cornfields and all this stuff, but it's equally as freaky and scary in New England. Like we have mountains that are just completely uninhabited, and you don't
Yeah.
know what's there. We have woods, we have forests, we have some dark spaces around here.
Yeah. Nice. Do you ever get out about and just kind of like take that in to get that sort of like environmental
Oh
influence?
yeah, yeah, absolutely, yeah. It definitely, you can't help but to be like influenced by it and help it just seep into you when you're out there in nature. And we
Yeah.
have some of the greatest cemeteries around here too, very old.
Yeah.
New England cemeteries are great.
Obviously a lot of English and Irish influence around there.
Yeah,
The
absolutely.
pilgrims and everything. So how
Right, right.
so how do you approach your writing, seeing as you're on your own? Does it ever stop? Do you have to curb the creativity, or is it just always oozing out of you?
I would say it's always oozing out of me in one sense or another, whether might not just be music. I'm a chef in my day job as well, so I'm always just creating there.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's just my life is trying to find ways to create ththings.
Nice. And when you're chefing, are you on your own doing that as well, or you got a team, or do you have your headphones in?
Yeah, no, I got I have a whole team behind me, a whole kitchen I run. Yeah, I
Wow.
can't be alone doing that. That's the one time I'm around
Yeah.
people, for better or for worse.
You have to. You have to. Right.
Yeah, there's no
So
avoiding that.
I think you tapped into it, and also a few minutes ago when you said your musicianship, questioning your musicianship. How do you secure that raw sound, which is so palpable? Is it difficult, or you just you don't play around too much with it, or do you have to really produce it to get that sound?
Oh no, it's just 100% natural. I think I don't have very expensive equipment, which helps.
Right. Okay.
That definitely helps to
That's
the
very
raw.
that's very black metal, Mike.
Yeah, exactly. See, I'm very black metal adjacent. I have a very black metal ethos behind me.
For sure. I love that.
Um, yeah, so I think just having bad equipment definitely helps add the rawness. I'm not a classically trained guitarist. I'm a drummer mostly.
I'm a drummer too.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I like to say I'm a recovering drummer.
Yeah. 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 I've not
So
recovered
as
yet.
you know, it's very tough for a drummer to convert to
Yeah.
play
Yeah.
another
Yeah. Fair play to
instrument.
you. Kudos. Well done.
But I can play the songs I write, and that's about it.
Yeah.
If someone said like, "Hey, play this song," I couldn't do it.
So who do you like? Who do you think you're more akin to as your sound? Where do you say, okay, well, if we're going to do a festival, who would be the perfect bands to put next to you?
it's such a small scene. You already like Amigo the Devil kind of fits. Me and That Man fits. There's this great band out of Wisconsin called Those Poor Bastards.
Right.
This Canadian band called Black Claw. There's this other artist in Chicago, which goes by the name of that godforsaken wretch.
Mhm.
So it's not really any big bands other than Amigo the Devil, Bridge City Sinners are kind of big.
Mm.
Um,
What about King Dude?
there's-
He's that way, right? Isn't he?
yeah. I kind of forgot about him. Yeah, you can throw him
Mm.
in there,
Yeah.
but it's a lot of very niche underground, like very independent artists.
Sure, 100%. I totally agree with that. Now, obviously, from a British perspective, there's a huge thirst for Americana, and so many programs and films these days. With more of a thirst from people who, especially, don't live in the States. There's more of a this kind of like romanticism towards the West and the South, and as you say, the bayous and those kind of thing. Your music's important. I think there's more people going to be checking it out. But have you ever considered doing things for maybe film or TV? Because that sound is perfect for like a film score or something. Would that be a
I
dream?
would love, yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there. Yeah, I would love to do a film score. That would be incredible. I take a very cinematic approach to my music writing.
Sure, you can hear it. Yeah.
Yeah, like before like the lyrics are the last thing. I try to tell the story with music first.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think I would love that. That would be a dream come true. But that would be a dream come true. I'm a huge movie fan as well.
You're obviously into your horror stuff, but how do you focus, or what kind of films do you focus to think the music's more akin to, like a horror thriller, like murder scenes, or do you think more Western or Southern, or where would you see your music sitting?
I could do either like the folk horror stuff, like things like The Wicker Man. Like Britain has a great folk horror scene that happened.
Yeah.
I could do a folk horror movie, or I can do. I'm very influenced by Ennio Morricone as well. So westerns with 100% I could follow. I could
Love all
do
that.
that. Yeah.
Love all that. Now, obviously, you wallow in the morose darkness, but what do you do to keep your spirits up away from music? What gets you away from that to like maybe lift your mood? Obviously, not people, but
Yeah.
anything else?
No, nothing. Just constant misery.
There's nothing. There's no pop music or anything you listen to. Nothing to get your spirits up to, dance around the kitchen with. No.
No.
That's the right answer. What's the answer I wanted?
I am okay in misery. I'm one of those people. Like I'm happy being surrounded by this morose and macabre stuff. So it seems miserable, but I'm actually happy and surrounded by misery.
Yeah, I like that. That's a fair answer, man. It's a fair answer. Now, let's talk shows, because you said that you've never gigged this out. Ancine's never gigged, right? I assume. Right. I've never done a show. You don't intend to. What's your past history of gigs like, and do you miss that vibe?
Yeah, I 100% miss that vibe. It's not that I wouldn't gig. It's just that I don't necessarily know how. It would either be me with an acoustic guitar, and I think that'd be rather boring because it wouldn't capture the music at all because it's all the layers I do.
Yeah.
I do a backing track, which I feel like is cheating people because you're not getting live music. Or I find musicians, which it would be very difficult. Like I don't know anyone going to do it. So it's not that I would never. It's just that I just don't know how to pull it off. But I'm very open to it if I can figure out a way that would make sense.
Sure. And what would sort of say, what's the scene like in, say, New England for, this kind of music? Is there a scene for it? Is there, do you ever go to gigs? Do you get out that often apart from the kitchen and home? Do you go to gigs?
I used to. There's a couple neo folk bands here that I could fit in with them. I used to be in the metal scene. Like I said, I played in a death metal band. But there's all kinds of pockets here, especially in Boston. It's a major city. So there are lots of punk bands. There's lots of metal bands. Hardcore is really big here.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could find a home in any of them, at least not with this music. I can personally, I go to gigs around town and I get along with the people, but I don't know if I could play it long.
Would you ever go back to a band like a death metal band or a heavy band?
Doubtful. Once in a blue moon, because I still listen to the music.
Yeah.
Once in a blue moon, I miss it, but I haven't picked up drums in forever. I think I'd be fucking rubbish at it.
Yeah. I mean, you get older and you just can't do it anymore.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
mid 40s, you know, it's difficult. Well, mid late 40s. But you know, I don't know how these
I
guys
just turned 37. I can barely walk upstairs without
I
getting
don't,
winded.
I don't know how these guys do it. I had Paul Mazurkovich from Cannibal Corpse on a while ago, and I was asking him, you know, how much extra effort and thought do you have to put into it now you're 60 playing those beats? You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. That's got to
It's
be incredible. I don't know, yeah,
just
how he can keep it up.
incredible. The
What
fitness
did
is,
he say?
he's just like, he just plays every day and just keeps fit. What can you do? You know?
Yeah.
You just get in that pocket and you crack on, and that's what he did and does. So obviously you mentioned the metal bands and the metal scene for you, but who would be on your Mount Rushmore of influences? Who would be the four faces that would be the ones that have crafted to where you are now? Maybe it could be metal band, could be metal artists, sorry, individuals I'm talking about. And you don't want to make up a band. It could be four guitarists, four vocalists, whatever. Johnny Cash, whatever you want. Who's the
Yeah.
guys?
For this music,
For
for
anything that's got you to
just in
where
general.
that's crafted you as a person right now.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'd definitely have to put Johnny Cash on there. Robert Johnson. Um, I would say, and then I'll do two of like those are obviously the country and the Americana ones. I'll go my other route and say Danzig actually.
Ah,
The stuff with
mate,
Sam
that is
Hain.
so strange you should say that because I was just thinking your sound is like Killer Wolf and all
Yeah,
these like Danzig 2 kind of sounds
yeah,
that you could
yeah.
hear from you and that scene. So I was just thinking I've got to mention Glenn Danzig to you, and then you go mad.
Yeah, Danzig definitely. And I'd say probably Ross Williams, Christian Death.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Why?
Um, I just love the mood that they made.
Mm,
And I'm very like much into making mood with the music and telling
mm.
a story. And they can just capture mood really well.
Awesome. Going back to Danzig because he's one of my number ones, right?
Yeah, it's
I
great.
mean, do you go back to Sam Hain and Misfits in that route as well?
Sam Hain's my favorite. Yeah, even over Misfits. I love the Misfits,
Yeah,
but I think Sam Hain, like November Coming Fire,
yeah,
is
yeah,
the most evil sounding record I
yeah,
think
yeah,
ever.
yeah.
Like
Carry
black metal bands wish they can be that
Oh,
evil.
yeah. There's just incredible stuff, and early Danzig as well for me is just phenomenal.
Oh yeah, yeah.
For different
Everything up
reasons.
to Danzig 4
That's right.
has
That's
been
right.
just gold.
That's right. So I'm not into guilty pleasures. I don't believe in guilty pleasures. But what's the weirdest or strangest music we could find in your collection, playlist, whatever, however you listen to music?
Oh, that's a good one. I'm really into like 80s synth pop,
Okay.
things like Soft Cell and Berlin and things like that.
Very cool. Yeah, very cool.
The whole Manchester scene, I was into that,
Yeah.
and the Happy Mondays,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Joy Division kind
Guns
of
N'
thing.
Roses. Yeah, yeah,
Amazing. Amazing. I
yeah.
didn't expect that to be mentioned today. But so what's your most, because you're quite open, I'm sure, what's your most unpopular musical opinion, would you say?
Oh man, that's a good one. I'm gonna have to think about this one for a minute.
I
It's my
love
most.
these answers because you get some cracking answers when you ask this question.
Yeah. Oh
Because,
man.
there's so many. For me, I mean, I say it every time, but my most unpopular musical opinion, it really pisses people off, is I don't like the Beatles. But and that's
I
that.
agree. Yeah,
That's just, and
I
I'm
agree.
English.
I don't like the Beatles either.
So, but yeah, but that's mine, no, Mike.
That's
So
already taken. Yeah. So I got to come on my own. I wish I'd have said that before you did. Shit.
you can have the Beatles if you're going to be too long. I'm not bothered.
Yeah. Can we circle back to that?
Yeah,
Sorry.
we'll go back to that. Well, I'll give you a few minutes. But okay, if there was a total mecca to music, where do you think it would be in your opinion? Would it be in the States, in Europe, in the UK? Would it be where do you think the home of just like metal or the scene that created where we are now?
Uh, I think that's impossible because every scene has its own
Art.
regional. Yeah. Like you have England and the whole like the Beatles and the Stones and the mods, and then you have the punks in England,
Yeah.
And then you have, grindcore pretty much came from England as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then you got the New York 70s punk scene. You do have the Delta blues, Chicago. So like,
Hmm.
I don't think you can pick. It's the
Okay.
whole world.
Fair enough. That was a stupid question to ask you. I'm sorry, mate. I do
I
apologize.
have, nothing's a stupid question.
So, okay, here we go. This is a
It was,
strange
it
one.
was a cop out answer, if anything. So I
That's all right.
apologize
A lot
for
of people
that.
say UK or Birmingham, especially. But if if
Yeah, yeah.
if aliens came to Earth, who do you think should speak to them on behalf of humanity, especially
Uh,
these days?
no one. I just tell them to go. Don't even bother wasting your time with us.
Glenn Danzig. He can say
Yeah,
something.
yeah, yeah.
Let him say a few
Yeah,
words. Now you're a chef. This should be an easy answer. Sure, should be a good answer for you as a chef. What's your death row meal? Not I'm saying you're going to have one, but what would it be?
oh, it's possible. I might. Um, my death row meal would be barbecue,
Yeah,
ribs,
barbecue, what, like
and bread.
ribs,
Yeah, I guess some ribs
brisket.
and bread definitely. Yeah,
Oof.
yeah, brisket sandwich.
Oh, now you're hitting that South vibes for me now. I like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I love barbecue. That's my thing.
I love that. I love that. I can just see that happening in prison. Just getting you just eat
Right,
a
yeah.
rack of ribs going off. You know what I mean? That'd be nice. So, okay, here you go. If as a heaviest riff, now obviously you play guitar, you've been in bands, you're a metal guy as well. What do you think is one of the heaviest riffs of all time?
Ooh. I would say anything off the first Godflesh album.
Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
Anything like Street Cleaner, but
Yeah.
probably is that all those riffs hammer.
Okay.
That's what I think I would go with Godflesh as being the heaviest riff masters.
Okay, we'll take that. We'll take that. Now, what's coming up next for you? What's happening now? Obviously, the album's coming out. Is it the EP's coming out this week?
Mhm.
We're never going to say never to gigs, but what's the future holding?
More recording in between I got at least one more Death Hymns left. I might do four. I haven't decided that.
Right.
In between each Death Hymns, I'm going to do two more covers.
I love that.
Yeah, so I'm
Anything in
working on.
mind to give us a hint, or do you not want to say?
No, I'll give you an exclusive.
Go on then.
The next one's going to be Ghost Riders in the Sky and a Cure song.
Very cool. That's good to know. Have you recorded them yet?
I just started dismantling them,
Nice.
so I haven't started recording yet, but I've been tweaking it and doing,
I
putting my spin on it, so they're written, so to speak.
do look forward to hearing them. Now, okay, here's a good one. If you could know the absolute and total truth to one question, what question would it be?
Life after death.
Cool. And what quote or saying do people say or love to say that is absolute bullshit?
Everything happens for a reason.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a classic. I've never had that one before. That's a good one. So, sum up the band, sum up the project, the Ancine in 3 words best. What do you think?
So sum up Ancine 3 words.
Yeah.
Morose, dark, and American.
Love that. And what track should I play next and why?
Yeah, I think the quintessential Ancine track is Barn of the Naked Dead. It's my first single, and it's
What?
been tough for me to live up to that one.
Awesome. We're going to be playing that next. Well, listen, one more question. What's the most used emoji in your phone? Unless you have a burner phone.
Honestly, this is gonna give me away and make you let people know that I'm a real human. It's the heart button. Because the only person I text the most is my girlfriend.
That's
So
nice. That's
it's
nice.
black though. I use the black heart.
Yeah, I use the
It's
black heart. I do that all the time. Do that all the time, mate. So, can we go back to the unpopular musical opinion, or are we over with that one?
All right. Unpopular musical opinion. Fuck, that's such a good one. Because I know I have many. I just can't, nothing's coming to
We
my
all
head
have
right
them,
now.
mate. We all have them. It can divide a room.
Yeah.
You're going to be messaging me straight after this going, I got it.
I know, right? Like,
Five.
your mom's not going. I got one.
Well, listen, Michael, thanks for joining.
Sorry.
I really appreciate the chat, and good luck with everything with 2025. And I'll be playing your tracks on the show for sure.
Yeah. I saw you played the other one. Appreciate that. Thank you. Have a good one.